An American barbecue sauce should have 3 main ingredients: tomato, vinegar, and sugar. Not necessarily in that order, and spices. When it starts with water or high fructose corn syrup, that's usually the 99-cent ones, and you get what you pay for. So a good jar of barbecue sauce these days costs almost $5. So I wait until they go on sale at $3, and then I stock up on them. And the good ones are Weber makes a good ones. Kinder's or Kinder's is a real good one. The roasted garlic is one of my favorites. Again, it's the upper scale ones are about $5, and you're going to see it. Tomato, sugar, and vinegar is the first 3 ingredients. Not necessarily in that order. All right, that's about right, I'd say. Maybe just a dash more.
So you're going to make a barbecue chicken thin crust Chicago type barbecue pizza.
We're gonna cut it into squares the whole bit. Okay, let's use some white meat.
So you're using all the stuff we've made earlier in the class, or you made.
Right. I'm gonna use chicken breast here. Nice white meat.
Yeah, I've never seen a barbecued pizza made in person or ever had it before. Pretty cool. Now you said you got your Kamado or your grill up to 500 degrees for this to rip it.
Right now it's at 450 and climbing. So they say anywhere between 400 and 600. My experience is the hotter the better. So I like to get it up over 500. And with this thing, it's not a problem, generally speaking. All right, that's just about right. How about some onion, huh?
So you've taken the barbecue chicken and then you've kind of pieced it out. Now you're putting your barbecue vegetables on there.
Correct.
Which were delicious.
I appreciate it. I'm going to put a little onion and then we'll put some peppers on there. What do you think?
Sounds good.
All right, let's do it.
Now you have that little chafing pan there because after you get done with the items on the grill, you put it in there to help them rest so that they can get juicier again.
It's a good place to rest, but it keeps them warm and it keeps the flies off them.
Okay.
Because there is a sterno under there with a flame, so it keeps it as warm and it's covered. So it's just kind of a safety as well as a flavor issue. You want it to be warm. I could leave it out with just a basket over it, you know, one of those like you'd probably find in Mexico or whatever to keep the flies off it, but it wouldn't keep it warm then. Okay, there we are with, I think that's about right. Now let's do our cheese. I did a takeaway once from Spinato's, one of my favorite pizza places, and I noticed that the cheese was grated on the small side as opposed to the bigger side. And I think it has to do with the way that the cheese melts. Kind of like I was saying about, you know, with the cutting the chicken into pieces, more char, more, I don't know, I think it has to do with the way it melts. So I started doing mine that way. This cheese is too warm, so it doesn't want to shred. I had it out at room temp, and it needs to be cold because it wants to clump. See what I'm dealing with here?
The challenge.
We'll make it happen. I think I'll go to the bigger rate now because it's too warm on the. Your pizza dough needs to be at room temp. Your cheese doesn't.
Okay.
Right.
So if you were to put the cheese in the freezer for like 5 minutes to
That would have done the job, yeah.
Okay.
Or
Good to
if
know.
I would have just kept it in the fridge instead of on the counter wrapped next to the thing, would have probably been a better idea. But all right, I think that's just fine. Where are we at here? 500 degrees? That works for me. Let's do it. Bada bing, bada boom. It's not overdone. I also want to check the not just the top but the bottom, right? Because sometimes the bottom cooks faster than the top, and it might already be dark, and I don't want to burn them. So you don't want to judge just by the top. You want to peek at the crust as well.
So you were talking about turning it about halfway through because of the whole cold spot, spinning it.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned you make your own pizza dough because it's like $3-4 versus buying store-bought dough.
No, the store-bought is $3 or $4. When you make it at home, it's about 30 or 40 cents.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then so the total
I
cost
use
of the pizza
an
be
all-purpose flour, which is like, you know, $1 for a huge bag of it. And then a little bit of yeast, a teaspoon of yeast, and a little salt and sugar, and you're off to the races.
So then the total cost of your pizza that you make is about $5 then.
No, that'd be well, I can tell you, I buy the cheese for $3 for a pound of full pound mozzarella. So that costs 75 cents worth of cheese. Call it 50 cents worth of dough, and that's on the outside, and then whatever's on there. So it's probably $2 or $3.
Okay, that's quite a savings.
Yeah.
Cool.
Compared to at the pizzeria, it'd be 20 or 25 easy.
Yeah.
Well, this size would be at least 20. We're getting there. What I do every now and then, as I've seen Chris Bianco do, when it puffs up like this, you give it a little poke. You know what I'm saying? The crust.
All right, so how long was that in there for?
8-10 minutes.
Okay. Wow.
All right, Chicago style party cut.
So the party cut allows more guests just to get a piece, like a hors d'oeuvre, right?
Yeah, they used to do this back in the 30s at the pubs to kind of give the guys something to munch on, and keep them there and drinking beer instead of going home. And it just makes it go better in a party atmosphere instead of just having 6 or 8 slices.